Hey everyone, Mo here, and before the video begins, I just want to let you guys know that my schedule has opened up for me to do coaching again. So if you're interested in private one-on-one coaching for me to help you, whether you're a newer player and you want to excel at the game very quickly and learn the fundamentals without developing any bad habits early, or if you're an experienced player who's already maybe platinum or diamond in your top 1%, but you need some help filling in the gap to get you to that 0.01%, to make you just some of the best, then hit me up on Discord and I can get you in some private one-on-one coaching lessons to help you polish up any skills you want to refine and help you learn all of the secrets to becoming a top player. That's it. I hope you enjoy the video. Hey everybody, Mo here, and in this video I'm bringing you guys the second deck that I'm going to be bringing to the Riot Seasonal Tournament, and it's going to be Anivia. So my lineup, I don't know what I said in the first video, but I kind of switched my lineup up a little bit, but my target here, I'm targeting Field Rush decks, which is the Shadow Isle, Freljord style slow control decks, and I'm going to be targeting the TF Gohard decks, because those are the two decks I expect to be the most, while also having a soft target, or being able to soft counter the fearsome aggro decks, because Fjordshin, Anivia here, and even my third deck have, at worst, a 50-50 matchup against fearsomes, which is pretty decent to be able to hard counter two different decks that I want to counter, which is the Field Rush and the Go Hard decks, but then also soft counter another deck that's going to be popular is pretty good. So this is the Anivia deck. The reason I'm choosing Anivia over Field Rush for my SI Frey deck is because I think this has a slight edge against Field Rush, because you can always interact with their win condition by killing off their units. Whenever they cast Field Rush, you just get to play Ruination and board wipe them. But it's really hard for them to interact with your win condition, which is Anivia. And no spoiler alerts, because it actually happened in one of the games I'm going to show you guys in this video, but I actually ended up beating a Field Rush deck that drew its best control cards, like the Mirror Match tech and stuff like that. They drew their Ledros and ended up getting really interesting, and then I beat them, and it was really good. I'm really glad I could show you guys that in these games. So I have two games coming up, one showing you against TF Gohard, and the other one against the Field Rush decks, the two decks that I'm going to be countering. So I hope that you guys can understand why I'm bringing these, show you guys why the deck counters those. And yeah, before I show you the games, I just want to remind you guys that 86% of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to me. So if you could do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button, it's free, easy, and it helps me out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. But that's it for this intro. I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Alright, so here we're going to play, I'm going to show you guys what Anivia versus like TF Gohard looks like. So this is one of the decks that I'm targeting, and I'm going to show you guys why this deck list feels so powerful for these matchups that I'm bringing it for. So here, we really just want an Avalanche. We want this Anivia for the mid to late game as a win condition, but we really want an Avalanche to stop the early game pressure. And then after we get one Avalanche to stop early game pressure, there it is, then we're typically looking all right, because there's not much they can do to threaten us. Our Anivias just keep coming back and keep coming back even after they kill. So the main purpose with this lineup is to just be able to beat TF Gohard and beat Field Rush really well, while also passively beating the aggro style decks. So we're going to go ahead and play our Avros and Sentry here. Maybe not. We'll just pass. We don't actually need to play Avros and Sentry, especially if we plan to just Avalanche like next turn. Here we can Avros and Sentry. At worst, he Gohards our unit. I mean, we don't care about that. It looks like he doesn't have the Gohard, so we're chilling. We can block his attacker here. We're not under any pressure whatsoever. And we're looking pretty good. We can just keep passing. We can swing here. Go ahead and draw our free card off of Avros and Sentry. This card's really good against anti-aggro, except for obviously fearsome, where it does almost nothing because it can't block. We drew another one, which is pretty big. I like that. There's a Twisted Fate. Sure. We can go and play another Sentry here. And then we're chilling. So we pass. We don't need a Glimpse here. We don't need to take an aggressive Glimpse. We have Vengeance. Vengeance will be good. He's playing one of Gangplank, and a lot of the anti-control style decks, the TF Gohards that are teching more for control and the mirror match are going to be playing a one of Gangplank. So Vengeance will mainly be used against that one of Gangplank, maybe against the Twisted Fate, depending on how much the Twisted Fate gets leveled. We'll see. So we're not going to deck out here, so we don't have to worry about that. We're not going to burn a card here. Next turn, we're just going to be playing our Anivia. So we really, you should never really be burning cards if you have an Anivia to play on 6. So we're pretty happy with all this, and basically we just want to go long. Sure, he's playing this. So this is a pretty decent spot to Avalanche. It kills a Twisted Fate and a Zap, and these are like the 2 most important units in his deck. So we'll take this. And the reason I can go for this Avalanche to clear up this little bit of pressure is because I have this Anivia on 6, and I'm wanting to play Anivia on 6, and he knows I want to play Anivia on 6. So all I'm doing is just being mana efficient. We used our mana on 5, we're using our mana on 6 here. Luckily, we drew this Avalanche, so if he does go Omega wide on us again, we have this backup plan. So we don't actually have to attack here. There's no reason to. I'd rather him just not be able to play units. Like, for instance, if we attack here, he can easily just play a Keg Girl. Or if we attack, we're only putting damage on 1 unit. So here, now we can swing out with Anivia and put 1 damage on each of these, so our Withering Wail is twice as useful. Yes, he can go ahead and block with Doom Beast, put my Anivia to 1, and then, like, threaten to go hard. But we're not super worried about that. We have so much life gain in this deck that it's really hard for our opponent to ever kill us with something like a Pack Your Bags. Especially since he has no swing right here. He has no wide board. So we're looking pretty fine. He can attack us here to get a Plunder trigger if he wants to play another Jagged Butcher. We do Grasp, which is really good. Yeah, I mean, this attack just isn't looking that great from him. We're definitely not scared by any means. We don't have a Rekindler. We do have a second Anivia. But we don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Croaker. So this is fine. So this looks like a pretty good spot to go ahead and Avalanche here. His Avalanche is fine. If we had a Vile Feast, that'd be really nice, because then we could Vile Feast this and not have to block with our Anivia. I don't think I'm going to block with Anivia, because I don't want him to just be able to kill off the egg. Butcher number 2. Sure. This is fine. Yeah, we're not too worried about here. We are just going to go ahead and Wail. Wailing here is fine. We have enough Wails. We have a second Wail. We have the Ruination for late game. We have this Anivia's Harsh Winds. We have all 3 Anivias. If I had a Rekindler or a way to get more Anivias for free, then I definitely would have blocked with Anivia there, and I wouldn't really care too much about losing my Anivia to something like a Go Hard. So the only card we actually care about now is Eledros. The question is just going to become, can we get enough Anivias on board to kill our opponent before he kills us with Ledros? So we have to see if he's going to go in here on multiple Go Hards. If he does, then we'll probably just go for a Glimpse here and try and draw into those Rekindlers, try and draw into the Harrowings, stuff like that. But our hand's actually looking really stacked on Frostbites because of how many Anivias we have. We might not be super afraid of Eledros. So here, we can go ahead and not Vile Feast. We can Glimpse our unit here. And draw 2 cards. Hopefully one's going to be a Rekindler or a Harrowing. There's a Harrowing. So we'll take that. We're pretty happy with that. We can just go ahead and pass. You can definitely do a third one here. So that's 3 Go Hards. Fine. I mean, again, we're not under any pressure. We don't really care about that. We can pass again. We don't need to play this Anivia here. We need to play Anivia if we feel like we're going to need to do these a Frostbite here. We can play Anivia now just to have a blocker. And this is fine. Jagged Butcher, sure. So he's trying to get like a kind of aggressive board again. But ultimately, I mean, not too aggressive, right? We have these Grasps to deal with it. Let's see if he has the Ledros here. If he has Ledros, this game is going to be kind of scary. If he doesn't have Ledros, then this game's just going to be over. It really, it's just going to depend on how many Ledros our opponents feel like playing. So no Ledros, so we can just go ahead and Grasp this. This is fine. This is Salvage. If he goes to Glimpse here, I think I'm tempted to just go ahead and pop off a second Grasp to deny the Glimpse. So he doesn't have it, so we'll take this. We can block here for free. And we just pass. And we're just pass gamers now. And this is basically just how this matchup goes. It just goes late until eventually we slam down a bunch of Anivias and then win the game. Even if he has the Pack Your Bags for our Harrowing turn, he'd have to have Pack Your Bags plus like a TF red card to kill all of our units. But typically he's not doing that, so we're not really worried about that. So this is going to be a blue card on TF. He has to find a way to kill this Anivia. If he doesn't have a way to kill this Anivia, then we obviously just get to open attack and kill off his Twisted Fate. And we're very happy with that. It stops the Twisted Fate level up win condition for our opponent. So we're just going to swing here, clear the board. We don't need to be greedy with these triggers. And we're not really on a clock until he plays Ledros. If he does play a Ledros, then we're obviously all of a sudden on like a really big clock, right? And we are kind of worried about that. But until he plays the Ledros, if he's playing Ledros, we don't have open deck lists. You'll have open deck lists in the tournament, so you'll know if you have to play around stuff like Ledros. Like, if I knew for a fact my opponent was playing Ledros, there's a real consideration to just slam down a Chronicler of Ruin and then just try and shove in as much damage as possible to try and kill our opponent before he kills us with Ledros Atrocity, right? So here, again, we're not super worried. We can Chronicler, just to try and get our Harrowing really big. If he ever uses Pack Your Bags before our turn of Harrowing, then we're feeling really, really good about that. We're feeling really good about that for sure, because then that means that our Harrowing is more than likely going to get all the way through. And then, worst case scenario, because then the only way he has to deal with Harrowing is going to be a Ruination, and he'd have to spend all of his mana on Ruination, and then he'd also have to have a lot of Go Hards after that to kill off the actual Anivias. So, and then right here, you know, our opponent's getting low on cards. There's a real consideration to try and just mill him out here. Let's say I don't think I can damage him enough and get the damage in. I could just try and run my opponent out of threats. If I was keeping track of his deck really closely, keeping track of the cards he's tossed with his salvage, I could look over at his deck list if I had his full deck list next to me and be like, okay, he only has, let's say he only has like 4 units left in his deck. We can be like, okay, all we have to do is kill those 4 units, and then all of a sudden he can't use Pack Your Bags anymore, and he's just going to deck out. But I don't want to go for that plan, not knowing if my opponent has a Ledros or not, or not knowing how many units exactly are in my opponent's deck. That's a real consideration. That's really a risky play. That's probably like the last-ditch effort of a win condition, but it's definitely a real win condition. Now people meme about, like, one of the things about Go Hard being good is that it can't deck out. Well, I've definitely decked out a Go Hard player before, so here we're not really interested in taking all of this damage, so we're just gonna go ahead and Vengeance this. We'll block with an Anivia, but we're definitely just gonna Vengeance this because we're not interested in taking damage for no reason. We can just pass here. We still have 6 mana, so if he board wipes this, we can play Anivia. So here, we can just get in for a full swing. And we just chip him down, just turn by turn by turn, until he either draws his Pack Your Bags or Ledros. And until he either draws a way to remove our board, and then we can overcommit again. Or until he puts us on a clock, which is basically just Ledros. We don't have to ever, like, overcommit here. And this matchup, like I said, this matchup's about 70-30 for Anivia's favor. And it's just a lot better than the Field of Rush decks, which is already good into TF Go Hard. But I also feel like the Anivia decks is better into Field of Rush, which I'm hoping to show you guys after this. So there's the Pack Your Bags. So we say okay to that. And then now we don't have to overcommit until he kills off our current Anivias. Like, we still have 2 Anivias for him to have to clear here, with either 2 more Go Hards or with a TF red card, because I believe he's only played 1 TF so far, or 2 TFs so far. Yeah, he's only played 2 TFs, so he's following up with Ruination. So that's really good for us. And that means that we can Harrowing here, and our Harrowing will get back 4 Anivias, which, I mean, we're pretty happy with that, right? We'll take the 4 Anivias here. This might look weird because you're like, but Mo, you're not attacking with this Harrowing. Well, it doesn't matter, because all we really are doing is just developing our board. Like, he has the Passage Unearned, and that's fine. We can... Oh, Glimpse doesn't actually save us here. We could Glimpse like this to get the extra card draw. Sure. So this draws us 3 cards. And that's pretty okay. So, one of Passage... I think he's might be playing... There's nowhere he's playing more than, like, 2 Passage Unearned. So... I mean, ultimately, this is fine. We still have our Rekindler here. We still have Rekindler. We still have ways to, like, mill our opponent. Or not mill our opponent, but not deck out ourselves. And it is getting low enough on cards that, you know, milling him out is a real strategy right now. Like, that's a real thing to consider. Like, if he finds a way to kill these off, to kill both of these, there's a real chance that we can just try and mill our opponent out if he draws any amount of cards and goes underneath ours. Obviously, we can't mill him out if we have fewer cards than him. That doesn't really work, does it? But, yeah. So he's gonna go to 9. So yeah, we can just play like our Avros and Sentries. We can play Avros and Sentry here, and we can just try and boom boom our opponent. We'll see how it goes. Deckhand, sure. And we're not worried a bit. We still have a Harrowing in our deck. We still have an Anivia in our deck. We still have a Rekindler in our deck. So we can swing here, pull this. This is a Glimpse. Oh, this is a Withering Wail. Interesting. I don't really think that matters. We can do this just to keep a unit on the board as pressure, because he is getting down to only 2 cards here. I believe he's only cast 1 Go Hard since the Pack Your Bags. So yeah, so he still has to draw 2 more Go Hards. We draw our Harrowing, so he'd have to draw another Passage Unearned. We can go in and retreat and get an Anivia in play, just to keep the pressure going. We can pass. There's a Pool Shark, and we're just gonna go ahead and go for this Harrowing here. This Harrowing should get us, yep, 4 more Anivias. And we're basically just gonna force him to have a second Passage Unearned. And if he doesn't have the second Passage Unearned, now we just get to swing it out with all these Anivias, and it should be GG. All our Anivias die. They turn into Agnivia. It goes to our turn. All of our Agnivias turn into Anivias. And, I mean, this alone is 10 damage that he can't block. So, we just get to swing in here. And this is how you win the matchup. You just eventually out-grind them with spells. You just out-grind them with spells and eventually just slam Anivia. So, even through his tech card of Passage Unearned, we are still able to beat him with Anivia and Harrowing. So, this is a really good matchup, and I'm really hoping to hit TF Go Hard decks with all 3 of my decks. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and show you the Field Rush matchup after this. After all of these animations. After every animation. All the there we go. Alright, now we're gonna go ahead and show you guys the Field Rush matchup. Alright, so this is gonna be the Field Rush matchup. So in this matchup, you're slightly favored, not like Omega favored by any means, but you're definitely slightly favored in this matchup. Basically, all you have to do is make sure you can kill the first Trundle, the first Tryndamere. And after you can kill the first Tryndamere, you're actually feeling pretty good. So we're actually gonna keep double Ruination, because Ruination is really big in this matchup. They literally don't play anything else you care about except for the really big 10-10s. And maybe you're gonna want to Grasp here for turn 3 stones. If they have a turn 3 stones and you don't have Grasp, it's going to feel kind of bad. But usually they just have Catalyst. Yep. They just have Catalyst anyways, or they're going to want Catalyst. And we're kind of just chilling. We're just going to draw go until they get up to their Field Rush mana. Sure. We're going to let that hit us. We don't care about taking 2 damage. We don't want to draw him into any more ramp spells if he doesn't have it. Worst case scenario here would be if he did have the second ramp stone. And he played a 0-3 stone. We don't care. We can just pass some more. We can even play like Entreat here just to be mana efficient and then have him know like, hey, we have an Anivia on 6. That's probably worth it. Since we are wanting to slam Anivia on turn 6 no matter what, I don't really know what he could be thinking about here if it's not just playing second stone. So we're going to 6 here. He's swinging. That's fine. We can just play Anivia. And the scariest thing for us is actually if you were to just straight up play like a Tryndamere on turn 8. That's probably the scariest thing, in all honesty. If you whenever he goes for the Field Rush. If you feel the rushes on not his attack token turn, then that's really good. Then we can just Ruination his everything. And then whenever he swings at us with a Tryndamere afterwards, we can just Vengeance it on the open attack. So here, we're going to make him overdraw a card, I believe. I think he's going to overdraw a card. He's not. Okay, he's at exactly 10. But now he has to play a card. And like I said, it's probably just going to be Tryndamere. Tryndamere is actually probably the scariest card in this deck for us. He does play Ledros, or most of these decks play at least 1 to 2 Ledros for the mirror matches. But those aren't really that scary. We are going to go ahead and Entreat here, just to be mana efficient. It's not like we're going to do too much here anyways. So we get to pass. And this is the turn where he likes to Field Rush because he's on 9. So he's just going to play only Ledros. And we actually don't care too much about that. Because we can block that for days. We're just going to go ahead and Chronicler this. Get another Anivia. Eventually start building up our Harrowings, building up our Rekindler, stuff like that. He can easily ping this with something like a Vile Feast. Usually you want to Rekindler, or you want to Chronicler, try and kill off your Anivias the turn before... Sure. The turn before turn 10, so that way they only have one small window to kill your egg. But right here, obviously, we like had to go for it. For the reasons of... We're going to go and ping this down here. We actually want to ping the Ledros. The reason we're going to ping Ledros is to set up for these. We have double Withering Wail in our hand, and we don't want to just Ruination for one unit. So if we can set up for a double Wail, like, we'll gladly take that. Or at least like a single Wail. By pinging this, we can swing with Anivia, get this down to 1 HP, and then just do a single Wail and look pretty good. So you can do this. He can block with the 3/3 if he wants. He probably just puts the 1/1 in front. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we don't have to actually play anything here. We're feeling pretty good. This is a second Ledros. That's pretty spooky. We can just click OK. And here we just get to go ahead and Withering Wail. Gain our health back. We can actually probably outlive double Ledros depending on how fast we can find something like our Rekindlers and our Harrowings. So I'm not going to play around second Vile Feast. I'm just going to go ahead and glimpse this. This line's a little bit greedy, but because we are on a big clock of double Ledros, we really need to find our Harrowings and really need to find our Rekindlers. So he doesn't have Vile Feast, so that's good to know. Our Anivia is good here. Anivia can block a Ledros, which is pretty big. Sure, we just say okay. We actually want to glimpse here in response. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm actually going to overdraw if we do that. This is fine. I mean, honestly, we're just going to be... We want to save our Harsh Winds for cards like Atrocity. So what we're going to do is we're just going to simply Vengeance one of these. We could even go for a Ruination. This Ruination is not bad. It relieves quite a bit of pressure. And we get to draw a card, so... We can do this, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We still overdraw. Yeah, so, I mean, this is fine. It gets rid of 2 of these, and we have an extra Ruination in our hand, so we're really not too worried about anything. We know he didn't have the Vile Feast. He is also at 9 cards in his hand, so because he doesn't have Vile Feast, he has Flash Freeze. I was going to say, he's actually going to lose one of these Ledros, because what would have happened is he's at 9 cards. When Ledros goes into his hand, that puts him at 10, and the second Ledros just gets exiled. So, heads up play by him to make sure to empty his hand out. To make sure to empty his hand out so he doesn't lose one of those Ledros. So, we just get to Aristocrat here. Just to apply, you know, a little bit more pressure. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, we're just going to go ahead and pass. Harrowing or Rekindler would be really big here. We didn't draw one. He dies on an Avalanche. Let's see here. We are just going to go ahead and glimpse. We only get to draw 1 card, and we burn a card. I really want to attack for more than just this, but I guess this is just the most efficient way to do this. He can just keep playing Ledros. We have triple Vengeance. We can kill Ledros. We have Glimpse. I mean, not Glimpse. We have Vile Feast and Withering Wail to gain life. So this is fine. We can go and Vengeance this Ledros. Make him burn another card on his draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can go to 8 to 10 here. And then worst case scenario is we just Vile Feast something and make sure to not burn a card on our overdraw. So Rekindler, or so Harrowing. Nice. So another way to gain life. So we are going to go ahead and just Vile Feast our unit here. Go up to 2, because we are going to Vile Feast in response to the Ledros anyways. We drew a Harrowing, which is pretty good. Alright, we made him burn a Vengeance. That's pretty good. We drew more life gain, which is pretty good. So basically the game here is just like, can I keep him off of Ledros? Can we not die to Ledros? And right now we're definitely winning that game. This would change if he realizes we're winning that game and then gets off of the Ledros plan. And then starts doing stuff like playing the Chindameres or playing the board wipes and stuff like that to relieve pressure. Then the game gets a little tricky. But right now, with our opponent not adapting his game plan and just going play Ledros, play Ledros, play Ledros, play Ledros, we're pretty happy. If I were him, I'd probably play the Ledros like one more time. And then if it doesn't work after that, or if I gain life after that, then it's not worth it to keep playing this Ledros dance. Because all it's doing is just making him burn cards every single turn. Like, he's burned a Vengeance. He's burned something else, I think. So we can go and play Ledros here. And we're just gonna look at this Harrowing. How good is this Harrowing? We get 3 Anivias. I'll take that. So here, I guess we technically lose to the Nightfall spell if he Nightfall spells our face. Because of that, I want to go ahead and do this. We just click OK. We lose our Anivias. But we immediately get them back. And then now we get to swing in for a big open attack. And this open attack's looking to be lethal at the moment. With 8 damage straight to face, putting him to 5. And he can only block 1 damage unit. So it looks like we probably have this game locked. And there you go. I mean, this deck's pretty favored. Even without him, if he would have drawn Field Rush. Like, Ledros is his best anti-control card. And the fact that he was juggling 2 Ledros back to back to back. I mean, we're pretty happy, right? We're pretty happy. So, he was juggling 2 Ledros over and over again, and he had the Atrocity, and we still ended up taking the game. So, I'm really excited for the seasonal tournament. I can't wait to show you guys my third deck. My third deck actually might surprise a lot of you guys, and I think my third deck's going to be not picked nearly at all. I think I'll be one of the only people, one of the only YouTubers or mainstream, like, you know, streamers or high-ranked players that are going to be bringing my third deck. So I'm pretty excited to show you guys what it is. And stay tuned tomorrow for that video. Sorry, the videos might be pretty sporadic this week. That's going to be because, one, my hours at work are kind of wonky because I had to request the weekend off for the tournament. Shout out to MTuck for playtesting with me so I don't have to grief my LP. I've actually griefed a lot of LP. I'm like ranked 200 right now at 108. Like, I've lost 400 LP the last 2 days just testing stuff. So shout out to MTuck and all the other guys that helped me playtest for this tournament. I really appreciate it. That's going to be it for this video, though. Make sure to stay tuned tomorrow. It should be tomorrow for the third deck video. So I can showcase that to you guys. Again, I'm going to be grinding a lot and playtesting a lot. So if you want to see what scrims look like between, you know, high-ranked players and competitive players trying to practice for this really big tournament, head over to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/emotional. Link will be in the description. I'll be basically just scrimming all week. I'll try and get my LP back up a little bit. I'll probably be like top 100. I'll try and get top 100. I was like top 50 earlier today. We'll see how it goes. But once I get to a rank that's either top 100 or top 50, I'll be pretty happy with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and just chill and just do scrims and hardcore prep for not only fight night, but also for the seasonal tournament. So, yeah, go ahead and follow me on there on my Twitch. Like I said, link will be in the description. Subscribe here on YouTube to not miss anything. Join my Discord for notifications on everything. And that's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the next video.